right, I see the hearts. I see the hearts. Thank you, everybody. If you can hear me, just let me know. I'm hoping you can hear me loud and clear. I do have a question for everybody, though. So we are back to our questions of the day. I'm going to put it in the chat. So the statement today is I'm unstoppable and I will push past blank to achieve my millionaire goals this year. What do you know you need to push past? Fill in that blank. Go ahead and put it in the chat. We're pushing past fear, we're pushing past insecurities, discouragement, past worries, the unfamiliar, the unknown. Talima said everything. Agree with you, sis. We're pushing past everything to get to our goals this year. I'm so excited about what you all are putting in this chat here. And
Let me bring
this
Nelly
is
on
really
while we're
great.
here.
Continue
Let's get
to
all three of
just
us up here. There we go. You can't see, but all three of us are up here now.
Yes. Okay. Well, awesome. I did have one more thing just for more engagement. So now that we know that we're pushing past all of these things, I want you to comment, let's grow in the chat. We are growing. We are going to grow. We are growing. Let's grow. Come on, let's go. I
And
want to see it in the
also,
chat.
when the videos go up, guys, go comment on the videos. That helps a lot. Oh my God. Not just in the chat chat. My daughter was asking if she puts hearts, does it help? Yeah, it helps, but it also helps more when you go after we do the video and it's posted to put some comments and likes and stuff and shares up in there. But keep going. Don't let me interrupt.
Yes, yes. So, Mr. Brown, you've already said it. I was going to actually encourage everyone to go ahead and like this video. We're already seeing how we're impacting just even the statements that we put up in the chat. Go ahead and like the video. Also, if you're not subscribed, you should go ahead and do that too. And of course, share this with someone that you know needs to hear what they need to push past this year. We're pushing past, as Talima said, everything. So let's grow. All right, I see the let's grows in, negative self talk. Okay, Natalie, I see you. All right, so we know what
That's
we're
real
pushing
good.
past. Very good. And yeah,
No, I mean,
this is
let me
amazing.
just say, do we understand how powerful that is? The negative self-talk. We do ourselves more harm than anybody could ever do us. We do. Even if they say the negative stuff first, but then we follow up with them and speak like they speak, man, we do ourselves more harm than anybody can ever do us. So yes, that's a point.
Yes, yes, yes. And if you've been here, you know Mr. Brown always speaks to our mindset, how we perceive things, how we see things. That is so important. And that negative self talk, yeah, we're going to turn it into positive self talk. We're going to encourage ourselves. We're going to say, I can do it. I'm growing. Let's grow. All of that is positive self talk. So we're going to turn the negative into the positive.
Now,
And I see all three of us are on the screen.
you see it? Now,
Yeah, I see.
I see an error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I don't know what that is. This error, I don't know how to fix it, but I hope everybody's seeing it and you're seeing us up there together. Cause
Yeah, I do see us. I see all three of us there.
okay, alrighty then.
Yeah, so,
Brilliant.
yep. Great engagement. I'm so excited about tonight. Thank you all for being here as always. Um, yeah. How you doing, Mr. Brown? How you doing, Nelly? How you feeling?
You're muted, Nelly. I think. Are you muted? Because I don't. We don't. I don't hear you. Let me see. Try now. Wow, where did your audio go? You were here perfectly fine a little while
Okay.
ago. Well, while we try to get to the bottom of where Nelly
What
is.
else?
Oh, here it is. Unmute. Let's try that. Try that now.
Okay, yes, so you can hear me. Okay,
There she is.
fantastic. Yes, I totally agree with what everybody is saying in the chat. This is a brand new year, and I too am making a commitment to push past every single fear. I am unstoppable, just like I heard in the chat. I received that for myself too. And we're getting it done this year. We have to get it done. Like, no excuses. This is it. So I totally agree. Let's make those moves. Let's do the things that we know that God is telling us to do. And let's walk in full obedience, because at the end of your obedience is your reward. So, yeah, let's do this. Amen.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you all for engaging in that. Um, this is wonderful. Okay. All right. So thank you, Devon, for your feedback as well. You guys are hearing us now loud and clear.
Okay.
Oh, we have 19 people in here right now. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Brown is here. Mr. Brown is here. Okay. So where's everybody from? I saw Lindsay is from Pennsylvania. Talima's from Pennsylvania. Where are you guys from? There's 19 people in here. Uh-oh, we went from 19 to 5. Where'd you guys go? Come on back. Come on back. Okay.
Did they leave when I left? I
I
just went to
think
get some
so.
water.
We told you he was going to be right back. Yeah.
How they
No,
go
this
from
is
19 to
good.
5? That don't make any sense. Come back here, Cletus.
All right. New York's in the house. I know Mr. Brown and Nelly are in Florida, Miami, Florida to be exact.
Yes, enjoy the nice
Okay.
warm weather.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. We're getting ready for snow up here again. But you guys enjoy. What was the weather today? Was it 70s, 80s?
80,
Just
like
want to hear about
86,
it.
87.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Oh my. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I think I need to make my trip push it up a little bit. But yeah, so we're here. Um, thank you all for being here. I was asking before, how are we feeling? What are we thinking? What do we like to see in the chat?
Well, we have an interesting slideshow today that I want to go through. And this was great setup. Man, oh man, what a good time we're about to have. So, with that said, I'll ask you guys, you don't have to mute, but definitely don't make a lot of any noise. And there you go. Now it's just me. These are some very interesting times that we're in. A lot is going on about our new commander in chief. I want to talk a little bit about the tariffs to help people understand what people's concerns are for those who don't. These policies, I think that I'm not going to speak the worst of him, but here's what I'm going to say. Whether he means well or not, I don't know. I can't speak to that. Here's what I do know. Initially, these tariffs sound like he's doing something to fight for us, but actually it's wrong. It's backward. And here's what I mean. If you're charging these other countries tariffs to be here, and you're charging them all this extra money to get their product here, that's fine. They're going to pay more to get the products here. So they're going to charge. Okay, let me give you an example. Say Walmart orders $1 million of stuff, and he throws a 25% tariff on that. That's $250,000. Walmart's eating that. Let's just make sure we understand that. And then Walmart is going to charge that to us. So at the end of the day, I'll get your back on so I can get your reactions. At the end of the day, that tariff, we're going to pay for it. Already, the whole thing with ICE hasn't hit us yet, but it's about to, because all the factories are empty, all the farms are empty, everybody's hiding to keep from getting thrown out of the country, and you know, I'm laughing at South Park. They took our jobs. Nobody here wants those jobs. So they didn't take anybody's job. So I was asking the question, are these the black jobs that he was talking about? And is this what he meant when he was talking about black jobs? Well, surprise, blacks ain't going after them jobs. There ain't no black job. Those jobs belong exactly to who they belong to. The immigrants, illegal or otherwise. They were the ones that are willing to work all day, all night, get up any time of day and any time of night and go there. Americans are too spoiled. We ain't getting up there and going out there and doing that stuff. So now fruit is rotten in the field. You see eggs is like $50 an egg right now. Okay, all this junk that people come up with trying to convince us that they're looking out for us, they're not. And I'm finding it hard to believe that nobody explained this before all of this happened. So I don't understand where what the goal is. But it's about to get real soon, and we're gonna feel it. We're gonna feel it in the grocery store, and we're gonna feel it a few places. Now, here's what's crazy about that. Even if somebody stops at this point and say, okay, this is ridiculous, the damage has been done. And even if they reverse it, the effects of it is already going to happen. And it's already in place. It's going to take a while now for it to level back out. But listen to your buddy here today. The prices are going to go up. They're going to fix the situation, but the prices are not going to come back down to where they were. They're going to stay up to some degree. I am saying this because I've lived long enough to see this enough time. They do things to create shortages, and then after the shortages are repaired, the prices never go back down to what they were. So if eggs was $2 and now they $5, they may come back down to $3.50 or $4. They're not going to come back down to $1.79. It's just not going to happen. And I always say follow the money. And the money shows, right? They are going to make the most out of this, and the people who are going to be affected the most are the people who need or worse than need. It's always the way it is. So I want us to start to think like entrepreneurs, because Nellie went with me today. I took her to the bank as I was sitting down with my investment broker, and we were talking about economy. We were talking about a lot of different things. And here's what she was understanding as she was listening. She was really having a good time, you know, being in that kind of environment. And this is a bank where, like, you can't even come in there and sit down and talk to them without $250 in cash, right? I ain't talking about $250. And so this is the way she's explaining the economy, and we're sitting there talking about, her and I, about the economy and how the economy is going to be affected by these moves, and who should you be investing in right now. And the reality is, the working class is the highest tax group amongst all groups. Businesses are taxed less than a working person. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but the government is set up to support and carry businesses. That's why schools were created, to train employees, make you wake up on time, be there on time, respond to bells, go and get lunch, get back after your lunch break, get back to work to 5 o'clock. Isn't that what school teaches you? Think about it. Be up in the morning, get there on time, sit through the class, do the work, take your break, get back to work, and go home when we tell you we can. It's preparation for the workforce. It was a government created program to train employees. Now, they don't have courses and classes to teach you how to be an entrepreneur in the school system or college system. They're not designed for that. So you have to step out on a different level and think about this on a different level. What's about to happen right now is going to affect people who don't have their finances in order. It's going to affect people who were not prepared or saved up or ready for this. It's going to affect people. And what the women were saying to me today was, I need you to invest this money, but I need you to you need to understand that you can't touch it for at least 3 years. So they're saying, no, you got to put that money in there, and that money got to be like not yours for 3 years. Because we got to be able to compensate for when the market dips and goes back up. And she showed us from all the way back to 89, all the way up, how the market came up and dipped. It's like a roller coaster, and it keeps going up, but not without these. And then it'll do this, and then it'll go down. So then it'll do this, and it'll level up, and then it'll drop, and then it'll go up. So you have to leave the money in there long enough for it to feel a long-term effect of your initial investment. Now, I'm saying all this to you to say this. You have to think entrepreneurial. You have to think, nah, I got my own business. That's not entrepreneurial. That's just self-employed. You got to think entrepreneurial. You got to think about putting away for the business. The stuff she's just saying, well, if you put this money in here, yeah, you won't have it for 3 years. But because you have this much money in here, we'll give you a line of credit that you can borrow against that money if you ever need it. See, there's all kind of great things that they have set in place for businesses. For businesses. We give you this much, we give you access to this, we give you lines of credit for this, but you must be a business. So, if your millionaire checklist is I'm gonna work my behind off and make $1 million, you're gonna work your behind off and Uncle Sam gonna say thank you and take your money. You have to be set up and you have to have a financial partner or people that you work with to show you how money works within the system. It's a system. It's a system. Come on, host and co-host and co-host and co-host. Come on, co-host and co-host, and jump on in here and say some things.
Well, yes, Mr. Brown, you have taught us, so much, right? That money is a tool and that we should be savers and we should be investors. And what you're saying, and you're saying it loud and clear, is that there's going to be opportunities coming. And if we're ready, we can jump on those opportunities, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's investing in something. And I guess I have more questions, but I'll allow Nelly to also to jump in.
Yeah, so I'm so happy that I went to this meeting because I learned so much. I think one of the biggest things that stuck out to me is not to be afraid to take a risk. And as she showed us the graph, the graph had high points, and then you see a low dip, then it goes high. But right after the dip, it went back high again. And in other places, it leveled off, just like what Mr. Brown said. And it's like, you can't be afraid of the risk. You can't be afraid of the dip, because we did learn, and we know, especially being taught by Mr. Brown, you have to step out there and do something, because how are you going to get something if you're afraid to do anything? You got to be able to take that risk. And usually the bigger the risk, or the larger the risk, the greater is going to be the return, and one of the greatest things she was saying is that you want to put yourself in a position where you have that extra, where you can use that extra to play around and put it in these types of investments and just watch it grow and know that it will grow because there are high seasons and there's low seasons. And the thing about it is that it's a plan. They have a plan that they can sit down with you and tell you your exit strategy when you want to exit. And but the main thing I got is don't be afraid to start because this is where you're going to be able to have an opportunity to make more than you ever did before because the risk is higher, but it's a great opportunity to gain rather than just playing it safe. You know, with the regular 9 to 5 we have, or doing little things, but you're not really stepping out there to do the thing that you're kind of like scared about doing in terms of investing.
And things are only scary to do just because you haven't done them. It's not because it's really scary, if that really makes sense. School, especially every time you go to a new grade or you go to a new college, or you go to a new school, it's scary when you first walking in the door. Driving the car the first time was scary. Like that's not a reason to make a decision about anything. Um, Fear is usually about what's unknown. And once you begin to know it, it's no longer scary. And in every situation, in any situation. So, I would never, I would ask people to never allow fear to be a factor in you going forward and doing anything. Fear should never have a place so powerful that it affects you going, coming, stopping, nothing. Face it, stare it down, and it just becomes a part of what your life is. It really is. The same principle, but, in agreement with what Nellie's saying. So listen, let's see what we got in the chats, and then I'm trying to position myself in the camera here where we got some, and what else we got? My microphone out.
So far, Ruth is saying we're not doing that, LOL, fear. And Lindsay is saying great insight. All right, yeah. Continue to give us the feedback. What are you hearing?
Yeah.
What are you hearing?
And I want to look at some of the slides. Now, I think we started on resolve versus initiative last week, right? We began that process.
We did the traits. Yeah, we did the traits of successful people, but we didn't touch on the resolve versus initiative yet.
Okay, well, I want to just jump on the definitions of resolve, and I just want to just look at that a little bit. Let me get my slideshow over here. Bam. So we have some definitions here. Resolve, an unwavering determination to overcome obstacles and achieve long-term goals, regardless of the difficulty and setbacks. I thought we did do this. You sure we didn't do this? Or it's just because I read it, I went over it myself. Initiative is the ability to take charge of situations, identify opportunities, and act without waiting for instruction. Yeah, we did go over this. Are you sure, Edwidge? I'm asking you, but because I need to know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, well, let's look at this then. Resolve is you don't give up in the sight of adversity or challenge or anything else like that. You just stand your ground, and you stand your ground to reach the goal. Now, the thing about resolve that I love is that's something I had to develop over the years. I did not like disappointments, and I did not like rejection. And I want to talk about this a little bit because this is huge. I was afraid of rejection. I grew up being, I guess, beat down with rejection for so long that it made my life like a living hell, that anytime something looked like rejection, I'd shut down and I'd run off. And I'm going to tell you something powerful about that. All the things that you fear in your life are things that were, I would say, by the evil one, put in place to stop me from the destiny that was seen for you, right? So the things that we fear, and we talked about this before, we fear the most, we don't even consider fears, we just consider them reactions to things or emotion. Well, it's the way you said it. If you didn't say it that way, yeah, well, I've been programmed to respond that way through life and circumstances and situations for people who also had those imps or those spirits or those fears, and they fed them to me. And some of you are gonna laugh at this, and some of you are gonna like probably hang your head, but to watch the irrational fear of a bug amongst females a lot of times, but I've seen guys do it too. I mean, just freak out, start running and jumping, and I'm like, the thing you can squeeze with your finger and its life. And you're running and jumping and losing your mind because of this bug. Somebody fed that to you. As a child, you didn't grow up with that fear. Somebody fed you that fear. And so now you've carried it into your life. And even though I'm saying this, and you can say, he's absolutely right, that's absolutely ridiculous. But you will fear them unless you really take a drastic, diligent stand to stop it. And that's going to take a lot of meditation, prayer, whatever. For some people, therapy. It's a bug, right? Now, when it comes to success, although most people want to be successful and would love to embrace it, the fear of failure won't let them go. So they'll want it, and they'll want it with all their heart. So a person that has resolve, they say, well, I'm going to get to this end, whatever is in front of me. Throw all the bugs and snakes and whatever you can throw in my path. I'll find a way around it, but I'm not turning back. I have to come out the other side. I have to win. I have to do this. Now, the person with initiative, this is different, right? Because they work so well together. They don't need somebody to lay it out for them before they do it. They don't need somebody to hold their hand and tell them it's okay before they step into their world. A person with initiative, they'll step into their world and they'll do what they need to do, and they'll figure it out, and I don't need you to tell me what's next. I don't need you to pat me on my back and say, baby, it's going to be okay all the time. I'm here to win, and I'm going to win. Give me a second. Let me straighten the screen out here so I can see what I'm looking at as I'm going. There we go. There we go. So, it's important that these two elements live in the life of a person who wants to be successful. The ability to take charge of a situation, identify the opportunities, and act without waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. That is initiative. And these are words that we may have heard in sentences, but here's what I'm going to tell you, and you tell me if you agree or don't agree in the comment. We have not been taught to those words in, how I'm going to say it, those words in effect. We probably heard them in sentences. You need to take initiative. You need to have resolve. But it's not part of our daily vocabulary. It's not a part of our everyday vernacular. It's not the way we think and speak. We have not been trained to think and speak like that. So these are not words. These are words that even if we know how to use them in a sentence, a lot of you are learning the definition of these words and how they work in my everyday life today. And why am I teaching you words? And some of you may ask that question. Well, he gets up every day and he's given the vocabulary. Well, the world was shaped and formed by words. Life and death's in the power of the tongue. Speak to the mountain. All that good stuff that you believe is like, no, right? And people of faith believe, whether they're Christians or not. They know you got to believe. You got to take a stand and you got to believe. And here is where this gets big. Well, your life is framed by the words that have been spoken over you. The fears that have been taught to you have come to you through words. Actions following the words. These are the things now that you have to overcome to be victorious. So I need to flood your vocabulary with words that amount to successful people. And if you listen to successful people talk, they use these kinds of words all the time. It's a part of their daily vocabulary. has not been for us. So we have to go in the file cabinet and pull out all the old file and throw them away, and we have to restuff the folder with some new stuff. This is why I do the vocabulary stuff all the time, and why I'm always talking these words to you and sharing these differences or the meanings and how they work together. Because you can't grow beyond what you understand. You can't see beyond what's been introduced to you. So you have to know there's an horizon to know that there's something beyond that horizon to even reach for it. And so I will continue to be a vocabulary teacher if that's what it takes to get you talking and thinking different. If you get off of this live and you go to people and say, listen, I want to get my resolve together. You know something? I want to take initiative and to do things. And you're starting to now say it with that understanding. I did my job. Come on, host. Tell me what your co-host, what you think right now.
Mr. Brown, sir, you are spot on. It goes also with the quotes that you share, and I know that information is going to come out soon with the book. But people, I know successful people have mantras, right? You have plenty of them that you share with us all the time that we hear often and always, right? I'm a winner. I always win. Like you said, you're giving vocabulary and you're giving word and you're giving space and you're giving life to what you're believing. And so, I mean, it goes in hand with what the word says as well. And I know you'll elaborate on that. And that's why I love these words. It gives vocabulary and it also gives an understanding. And now we can use it. We can apply it.
Yes, ma'am. What you say, Miss Bestman?
Okay, yes, so I'm unmuted now. Yeah, I absolutely love these words. We resolve, like, wow, it's very powerful. That keeping my eye on the prize, keeping my eye on that end goal, that determination without being with no type of wavering. And even if I do fall a little bit, to be able to bounce back and come back in, having the definition of that is great. And like you said, when you speak that word, you speak it out into the atmosphere and you know the understanding, it does shift something. It creates something in you and it stirs something up on the inside of you. Now when I see resolve, it means something more to me because that's who I am. I stay in the game. I'm finishing and I'm keeping my eye fixed on that goal. So yeah, no, this is
And
really
anything
it's
that
very,
comes
very
against
valuable.
that word in your life and in your spirit, anything that comes against that word now, you're going to see it different. Because if you know what resolve is, then you know what the opposite of it is. And if you know what the opposite of it is, then you know when you see yourself functioning like that, you start to check yourself. It's like having a checklist, right? It's like having, okay, I need to have goals. Well, yeah, you need to have goals. Well, to say I need to have goals to be more resourceful, words we've had. I need more resolve. I need to take initiative. And you, those are part of the words that you're now putting together that are making you the beast that you need to become. Right? The whole
Yeah.
world was framed and made with words. And so we have to have these words. We were not raised with these words. Think about as long as you've been in school your whole life, how many teachers sat down and taught you about the power of resolve and initiative. They may say take initiative to pass this test, but talking about just to go out there and face the world down, and it's a very serious thing that we face because that these are not in our tool belts, right? So we got to go find these things. So as I find them, I bring them to you. Okay, so I'm gonna give you two quick examples that we have here of the two words in use, and then we'll move on to the next slide. So let's go on. One day I'm gonna have somebody to do this for me, and I'll have to do all of this. But right now I'm gonna do it myself. So resolve, a struggling entrepreneur, persists after multiple failures and finally builds a multi-million dollar. It says million dollar, but I say a multi-million billion dollar business. A struggling or after many struggles and many failures, they persist until they win. If you look at stories of very successful people, you'll hear all these failures. What separates us from them a lot of times is they'll tell you those failures, but they also tell you what they did to get by. The Young Professional Initiative notices an inefficiency at work, right? He proposes a solution and earns a promotion. Well, yeah, if you want to use that, which that sounds like one of your examples. No, so he finds a solution. He finds a solution. Forget earns a promotion. He finds a solution and sets the company up to be more profitable than it's ever been, right? Because people that have a heart or a mind to go ahead without somebody standing over you and watching you. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna get back on screen to say this. If you're the type of person that works your behind off when the boss is watching, and then when he's not watching, you kind of goof off, I want to let you know. A lot of times, a good boss is watching even when he's not watching, and they are looking to see. The good executives are watching. I watch my team when my team don't think I'm watching them. I'm paying attention to what they're doing and what they're not doing when they think I'm not. And I may go for months or years and not say anything, but I'm watching. And I'm looking for initiative. I'm looking for people that have resolve. And when I see those who is like going to do enough just to not have me complain, I'm saying, okay, fine. And when we become a multi-billion-dollar company, I'm going to pay you enough to not have you complain, right? And that's going to be the way it goes. That's how companies are built. That's how real things are formed. So please, please be committed to finish what you start with power. With power. That's the key. Finish what you start with power. So, I'm looking at the time. You got a little time. Let's look at some of this. Let's look at some of this. Let's look at some of this. All right. A millionaire's mindset approach. Based on the words we just went through, let's look at some of this. Millionaires embrace, resolve to push through every and any setback. A millionaire's mindset embrace resolve. They embrace the desire or the tenacity, which is a word we went through before, to push through setbacks. Setbacks are not enemies to them. Listen to me close. Setbacks are opportunities, once again, to prove something can be done. A setback to a person with that kind of mind is a person who's looking for anything as heavier weights in the gym is an opportunity to become stronger. A millionaire mindset looks for these opportunities and takes them as an opportunity to go to the next level. Important. They take initiative to create new income streams and to solve problems. Listen close to what I just said. They take initiative to create new income streams and solve problems. Listen. Linda, listen. They always look for new ways to make income and solve problems. People that are job-minded, they keep trying to figure out how to do the job and hopefully make it work and make it go further. I'm talking to you, some of my hosts, right? If you are not always looking for new income streams and opportunities to be successful some other kind of way, even in the process of going down the goal you're on, you don't have a millionaire mindset. Again, you have an employee's mindset, you got a job. But a millionaire mindset says, okay, well, on my road to doing this, I will find other ways to create revenue. Now, I'm going to bring you guys back on for a minute. Now, think about this. As long as you know me, Live Unique is the latest venture. I have FIA. I have real estate. Now I'm doing Vision Builders. I had JCMI as a ministry. I had secure technology. You follow what I'm saying? I'm always looking for ways in different ways. And if you think about it, ways that don't have nothing to do with one another. It's like how you go from, wait a minute, you ministry to, wait, from real estate, wait, to home improvement, wait, you buying and flipping houses? Okay, so wait, now you coaching? Oh, wait, you're a pastor? Wait, now you staffing? Oh, now you public speaking about, diversity? And now you doing a salon? Wait, and since Nellie's been with me, she was a hairdresser, and that's what she did, and that's all she did. I'm like, now you're doing products, and you making hair oil, and you talking about body butters and shampoos, and every millionaire mindset looks for ways and opportunities to make more money and streams of income. And the people that are willing to just sit on their behind and almost starve and not do anything else, the key to doing the other things is you learn and you get insights in those things that even help you in the first thing or the second thing. Wait a minute. Can I get scriptural for a minute? Can I get churchy a little bit, right? Cast your brother to the water. Give a portion 7, yes unto 8, because you don't know which one will do good. Maybe this one or that one or all alike. Cast your brother in the water, to return in many days. See, that's a principle. It's called diversify. That's what it's called. And then I got into stocks, and I got into, and now I'm also looking into day trading. And, I didn't take into the crypto thing. It just didn't sit right for me. I'm saying it's a bad thing. It's just, by the time I found out about it, the train was too far down the track. I'm like, I'm not trying to run and catch up with that mess. But the AI thing now, I'm going deep, deep, deep. The fact that I'm doing social media and I'm here controlling and producing my podcast here. This is me learning and doing it because this is what the market is asking of me. I diversify. That's what I do. I look for alternate streams of income. That's what people that are successful do. You want to be successful? I tell people all the time, I forgot his name now. He was a weightlifter, and he used to say, everybody want to build big muscle, but nobody want to lift these weights. Well, this is what it comes down to. You want to be strong, but you want to lift these weights. Listen, this is a discipline that I had to and still keep learning every day. And every time I think I've learned something, I have to learn something else. So that's the floor I'm sitting on right now. You guys can respond if you want to. You don't have to, but I sat it out there. There it is.
I love that point, Mr. Brown. Like you said, diversify. And as you were listing literally everything you were doing, I was like, that's right. He did that. He's done this. I was like, wait a minute. You literally had the roadmap sitting right in front of us, which is inspiring. And also, okay, let's venture out into something, right?
But I don't know
Whatever
how to do
that
that.
is.
Well, you know how to do it if you start doing it.
Start somewhere.
Listen,
Yes.
let me just tell you this. When I bought my first house, I knew how to do sheetrock, plumbing, basic stuff. Man, I built that addition on my house. I learned plumbing. I learned sweat copper. I learned how to use the torch. I had to learn how to run electric wire. I had to learn how to run into the main box. I literally learned so much about home improvement that I made money on my real estate because I could do a lot of the work myself. But that's me. I'm not asking everybody to be me. But I'm saying you still need to diversify. You need to look at other opportunities and other ways to make money. There are other ways to do it, and people do it. And they learn. And then I see the people who learn a way, and they stick with that way, and they never scale. They never grow into anything big. Well, I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to go take more classes than this. No, you better take more classes than if you want to take classes. I don't like classes. If I don't have to take a class, I ain't taking one. But if you're going to take a class, I want to take a class that I know I can put in the marketplace right after class and turn it into some currency. That's just me. Nelly, I think you were going to say something.
Yes. The favorite word that you always tell us, pivot, and that we have to be willing and ready to pivot. And so, yeah, this is it. This is my word for this year, to literally just step out there and pivot and do other things other than, what I've been doing, which is behind the chair. So now we have the products. And so now I also want to go and look for other ways that I can market this product aside from what we've been doing, and maybe getting on and just engaging people online and talking and building community and going out and meeting other people who are vendors, and how are they going to be expanding their business and just doing things that I never did before. That's a pivot for me. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, but I want to encourage myself, and I am encouraging myself every day to do the thing that's not natural to me, but I'm doing it anyway because this is going to lead me to another stream of income, which is all attached to my success. So the word pivot is what I'm hearing when you say that. Diversify, try other things.
Okay, thank you for that. And I kind of cut, you kind of went off camera before you finished your sentence, but listen, because this last bullet point brings it home. Success is about consistent action, not waiting for opportunities. Success is about consistent action, not waiting for opportunities. Success, wait, but you do have to wait for opportunities. Yes, but in the time that you decide to not be consistent and take the break, a lot of times that's when the opportunity shows up. You missed it because you weren't there doing what you need to do when the opportunity presented itself. So it's about consistent action. Yes, opportunity will show, but this is saying opportunity or success comes when opportunity meets preparation. Opportunity meets you prepared. You can decide to take a break and now you're rusty. And now it's time for you to get your shot and you don't get it. I'm here now shooting YouTube videos and doing what I need to do and putting in my team, and we putting stuff out every day so that when the opportunity comes, if a video shoots through the roof and when it shoots through the roof and goes viral, and I've seen this happen with people, and they put a video out and it goes viral, and then you go to their page and there's nothing else on the page. Why? Because they just got lucky, and now one-hit wonders in music is the same way. You did it, but you don't have a body of work to follow up. You weren't ready. You weren't prepared. So listen, let's go back to this slide one more time. Let's look at it one more time before we move. Success is about consistent action. Consistent action, not waiting for the opportunity. It's about you consistently doing what you need to do toward that goal. You get to a point that you're doing it with your love for it and your commitment to it, and almost sometimes not even expecting nothing to come out of it anymore. And then boom, it comes, and when it comes, you're ready. Now, I don't ever see myself getting to the place where I'm not expecting something. I'm always expecting because that's how I'm built. But listen to me. You keep doing what you do until the opportunity shows itself, and you're so in the flow of doing it that recreating what you created is not even an issue. And that's so important. It is so important. So, I've given you a lot of stuff today. Let's look at some of it. I know they're behind us in the comments, but let's look at some of what we got and see what it looked like, team.
Okay, yeah, the chat has been engaged. All right, so let's go back a little. All right, so we'll start with Devon. He said the words being attraction, the law of attraction is real. Talima said, exactly, you shape your life by the words that come out of your mouth. And Ruth said, yes, finish what you start with power.
I like that.
Lindsay said, finish with power. And there was a statement as well. Yes, we are finishers. Lindsay said, last year taught me that. Not exactly sure where that was, but, and Lindsay said, new ways come easily now. It is something I've learned to embrace as an entrepreneur. I'm thinking she's thinking about diversity when you were talking about diversifying. Entrepreneurship mindset embraces the diversity. And Ruth has said, I've embraced the entrepreneurial mindset to break that employee mindset, which was uncomfortable at first, but being a part of Vision Builders, it doesn't seem unrealistic anymore.
Oh, there's a commercial right there. We need to get her saying that on camera so we could use that in the ad.
I love that. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah. Now the gauge has been the chat has been live tonight. Um, it's been great.
I mean, I see a lot of nice hearts and things, all kind of things. Yes. So let's round it out and bring it home. Next week, and we're gonna start having more than one a week in the very near future. But next week, we're gonna deal with traits of successful people, right? And we're gonna talk about emotional intelligence, strong decision making ability, visionary leadership. We talked about today, and I want to deal with it more in the future. We want to talk about vocabulary of successful people. Successful people have a vocabulary. They speak a different way. It's funny because we were in the office today of the financial advisor over at J.P. Morgan, and Nelly, I'm sure Nelly, you heard a lot of words that were just different to your ear, like phrases and terms. And I had to say to Nelly at one point, Nelly, ask questions. Don't just listen. If you don't understand what something means, interrupt and say, what is that? What does that mean? Because I knew that words were going to be introduced to her that were different to what she's used to hearing. Vocabulary is something we're going to really focus on as we continue to go forward. And I want you to not just hear me say these words. I'm hoping you taking note of them, and I'm hoping that you going out there and finding out how to use those words in your everyday life. Those words are important words, and they need to be floating through you and coming out of you, because that's what's going to make a difference. So we're going to break down the differences. We're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about the traits of successful people. But I'm saying to you again, a good part of the trait is vocabulary. Vocabulary is huge. Edward, Nelly, you want to bring a little closing words? I'm going to bring up in a minute the words we've gone over so far to try to let people keep looking up their stuff. But go ahead.
Nelly, go ahead, because I want to make sure that if you want to go.
And you don't have to, but if you want to, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say as a closing remark, I really pray that we all take what we got today, this resolve and the initiative, and actually sit down and write the vision down, make it plain before your eyes, meditate on it, stay focused, and just begin taking action, staying consistent, and that is how you're gonna reach your that successful goal. That's all we have to do is don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to pivot and change and do something that you haven't done before. That's all I have to say. Encouragement for myself too. You will see me doing some new things, some different things, talking on camera, and I'm just training myself. Sometimes you're doing something and it feels uncomfortable, it feels like it's not right. A lot of times it's just in your own mind. You have to get out your own head, do it anyway, and when you sit down and look back, you're gonna say, wow, I did that. Okay, and it's encouraging, and you say, "Well, I don't look that bad. Or I could do this." And you start getting encouraging, like I can, because you're when you think you can, or you think you don't sound good, or you don't look good, you're just discouraging yourself. Just go ahead and do it, and when you look back, you'll be proud. So that's my encouragement and my takeaway that I'm taking for myself, and also giving to you guys today too. So that's all I have to
Miss
say.
Michelle.
Oh man, so much. This talk today was amazing. I think this one was for the books, the resolve versus initiative, and I know you're going to go over the vocabulary, and I appreciate you saying that because we've learned so much in the past several weeks. I think we need to remind ourselves what we've learned and, like Nelly said, apply it. Another thing I wanted to say, Nelly, I know that you in our network, I'll say, because yeah, we have a network. What you've introduced is what you've written down in your life and how you. Well, I want you to definitely talk about that as you share what you've been able to see come literally off of the page of what you've written. Just to encourage us, because I know even for myself, writing it down is something I need to do and look at it and meditate on it and say, okay, I can start to check these things off. And that's why we're going over this checklist, right? So to encourage everybody, don't just hear, do. Start to write it down. Just start writing it down, period. Don't overthink it. Don't say, well, I'll get to it. Write it down. You'd be amazed what will happen once you start to see it visually. And my takeaway today is diversify. Diversify. I do have a job now. I do not hope to have a job much longer. There are ideas that I have that I need to execute on, and that's it. There's no more excuses. Just do it. Just do it. If I have a question, I have networks. I have Mr. Brown. I have all of you to encourage me, and let's grow. Let's do this thing. Let's absolutely do this. If this helped you today, if this conversation helped you today, I want you to mention it in the chat. I also want to make sure you like this video because there's
And in
only
the
one person
comments,
who liked it so far. In the comments, yes.
go in them
Go
comments
back and
afterwards.
listen. We have weeks and weeks of this conversation, so go back and listen. I'm excited to see what this year looks like for us, for me, for myself, Mr. Brown, Miss Nellie Bessman. Man, this is our time. This is our year, and I'm grateful.
Okay, that's beautiful, and thank you guys
I'm
both
just
for
gonna
sharing
say
that.
something too.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, just one more thing. Don't forget to go back, like Edward was saying, and re-watch the video and make your comment there after the video has been posted, because that's also going to help the algorithm. Please, you're commenting now, but when the video is posted, go back to the live. Some even the old ones, re-watch it, comment there, and then also share it out. That will definitely help us continue doing what
Absolutely,
we're doing.
absolutely. Thank you. So let's look over some of the words we've gone over since I started. Now that you understand why I'm so strong on the vocabulary, I'm not going to reintroduce all of them. I'm just going to read them, and let's just take a quick look here. So over the time that we've been doing this so far, the 8 weeks in review, we have tenacity versus consistency, diligence versus relentless. Diligent versus relentless was a powerful one. Motivation versus discipline, that was powerful too. Drive versus focus. Producers versus consumers. Discouraged versus courage. Ambition versus vision. Passion versus zeal. And today we went on and touched on resolve versus initiative. This is what makes the world go around, family. This is the kind of stuff that we need. And if you don't do anything else, let me just put that screen back up for a minute. Let me put that back. Just for 1 minute. Where is it? There it is. Let's do this. If you need to, right now, screenshot that. If you wasn't paying attention to all of them, screenshot it, look it up, go through those words, get them in your vocabulary. Come on, babies. We want to build this vocabulary. We want to build this winner success driven vocabulary. Notice I didn't put any negative words. Every word I put in there is words of power, words of force, and words of strength. So I know I'm going to leave it for a minute because I know it's a delay. And while I'm leaving that there for them to screenshot, let's see if there's any final comments before we wrap up there. What we got, Edward Chanelli?
So Devon shared that producers versus consumers was his favorite. So yeah, some of us have been here from the very beginning. What are some of your favorite words that you've heard or you've been reintroduced to in your vocabulary? Thank you for that share, Devon. Lindsay says, great meeting. Devon is screenshotting. Wonderful. Okay,
Get them
that's what we have
words.
so far. Yes. I think for me, discourage versus courage, that was a eye-opening one for me. Um, so that's a good one to also listen to. I mean, all of them. Um, but you know, every one of them is going to speak to you differently. Um, but there are definitely some ones that stick with you.
Okay, so is it up on the screen yet so that I can move off of it? I want to make sure it got up there and everybody got the. Well, he said screenshots. That means he got it. The bot, he wrote screenshot. That means he got it, and that was the last one. And so now, with that said, I love this that we can set this up and just bounce between the different screen setups. I'm getting nice with it. Listen, guys, this is always a pleasure to be here and share with you and encourage you and give you some food, you know, that you can put in there. And not just food, tools. Tools that you can put in your belt and start using right away. These are terms that stepping out there and not knowing this, when the wind hits you and the rain falls and the waters descend, and your house is not built on the rock of these words, it's gonna get washed away. You know, it's the word. The words are powerful, man. There's strong words in there, and the words frame the universe. So keep learning, keep growing, keep getting better, keep getting better. That's your only option. You're gonna do it with me? You ready?
Ready.
Let's grow.
You ready? Let's grow.
See you next time.
All right. The comments are still coming in, but yeah, keep commenting. Great show.